Hi there, this is Jill Coleman with JillStamps.com, and in this video I'd like to teach you how to make this cute Tootsie Pop stand-up pumpkin. This was a project I posted a couple of years ago on my blog, but it continues to be a very popular project this time of each year. And so I thought I'd do a video tutorial because the original post was just done with written instructions. So here's how we're going to do that. The first thing I did, I've got pumpkin pie cardstock, and I use the oval framelits, and you're going to use the, I guess, third size from the smallest framelit for that. You're going to run your pumpkin pie cardstock, or whatever color you'd like, through your Big Shot with that oval framelit, and you'll need 6 of these ovals. So you'll do that. From there, you'll take your 1 3/8 inch circle punch, and you're going to create, the first one will be a template. And so honestly, I don't measure this out. I just eyeball it, try to center it as best I can, and turn the punch sideways to make sure it's up and down, centered. And that looks about good, so I punch. Now you'll take that oval, and it's not exactly perfect, but you'll see how that'll work out in the end. Don't stress if that doesn't look quite right. Now you'll lay that over your next oval, and use that as a template. Insert that in. And I always, as I'm doing this, I kind of half hold the punch shut just so it has tension on the paper, and that prevents slipping. Just a little tip. So now I've got that on there. And you'll continue to do that until you have 6 circle punched ovals. Now you can start from there and go ahead and put your pumpkin together with keeping your cardstock smooth if you like, which is what I did a couple of years ago in my original project. However, this time I wanted to take it up a notch, and so I ran my ovals through the wood-grained Textured Impressions embossing folder to add a little texture to my pumpkin this time. And so here's what you do once you run those through. Once you've got your texture and your circles punched, then you're going to take your ovals and you'll fold those in half. If you decide to add the texture for your pumpkin, just pay attention as to which side is out when you fold these in half. Whatever's on the inside will be what shows when your pumpkin's done. I want my raised texture to show, so that's going to go on the inside. So you're going to fold those in half, and then you'll begin to adhere those together. And you can choose what adhesive, if you have a preferred adhesive you like to use on your dimensional projects, things that pull a little bit. For this one, honestly, I just used our snail adhesive. Oh, lid off would be good. And applied some there on just one side. The thing to keep in mind when you apply your adhesive on these is to make sure you get your inside edges really coated with your adhesive. Because that'll be a key to get your pumpkin to turn out nicely. If you want to, you could add a little bit of our multi-purpose liquid glue. Your snail would be your instant grab, and your multi-purpose would be your long-term hold. You could choose our sticky strip if you want. I'm just honestly too lazy to take time to cut all the little pieces of sticky strip to put this together, but that probably would be your best option for long-term holding. But really, you can get it done with these 2 adhesives here. Now you'd layer these together. You're going to take your second oval and layer it on top of your first. And the key here is to make sure to line up your outside edges, the outside edges of your pumpkin. Don't worry so much if these don't line up perfectly. Those can be hidden really easily once the pumpkin's assembled. So you'll take all 6 of these that are folded in half and just layer those up. And again, just making sure your outside edges match up. You see that? So you'll do that 6 times, and I've got one done here. So that's what it'll look like once you have your 6 ovals all folded in half and adhered together. So now you're ready to insert your Tootsie Pop. So I've taken my Tootsie Pop and I trimmed down the stick on that. You can choose how long you want your stem on your pumpkin to be. If you want it a little longer, that's fine. I just took mine, I put it on my grid paper and used scissors to cut that down. I did about 1.5 inches. Once I do that, I want to go ahead and cover the stem on that. I took 1 inch, and because this is 1.5 inches, inch by 1.5 inches piece of old olive cardstock. I also ran that through the Textured Impressions embossing folder, the wood grain, to give it a little more texture. We'll add some adhesive to that. So however long your stick ends up being is your length of your old olive, and you only need about 1 inch to wrap it around the stick. I think it might just depend on how much bulk there is to the wrapping, the sucker wrapper. So just wrap that around, adhere it together, crimp it, crumple it on there, make it look like a true pumpkin stem. It's not going to look perfect. And now you're ready to go. Go ahead and get your 6 layers ready with adhesive. That way when you bring it around and put it together, it's ready to go. Again, making sure these inside edges have a good amount of adhesive. Now I'm going to take my Tootsie Pop, put it in that opening, and bring this around. And it'll take a little bit of working, again, making sure your outside edges line up. And then I look down at the stem here from the top and just make sure it basically forms almost a star shape. But again, if your inside edges don't touch, then it's going to wobble a little bit and not want to sit down for you, and not, or I guess not want to stand up for you. And there is your pumpkin. From there you could add, I took a piece of our Little Leaves Sizzlet and ran the Little Leaves Sizzlet die through the Big Shot with some old olive cardstock, and you can add that for a leaf. You could just paper quill some cardstock, or add it, if you have some other pre-done embellishments, you can do that. If you wanted to add a tag to this, that would be super cute. But just as a real cute idea for a Halloween favor, or possibly a table marker at the kids' table this Thanksgiving, because we all know we have a kids' table, and this might make the kids' table just that much more fun. So that is a Tootsie Pop stand-up pumpkin, and I hope that was helpful for you, and I hope you have fun making these. You can find more creative ideas over at my blog, jillstamps.com, Facebook, and on Twitter. Thanks so much for being here today.